Allow me to start this with, I know last month I spent like over $1,000 on food, and this month I did not do that. I was within $100 of my budgets across those categories. Much better. Didn't hit up the big box stores as much. However, the radiator fan in my car like blew up, and my tenant didn't pay again. So eviction court on Thursday. We've tried everything we can. It's been over 3 months. Payment plans. I've been as kind and considerate a human as I could possibly be about it. But at a certain point, they're squatting that I need legal help to get them out of my house. So let's get into it. Hey friends, I am Sarah, also known as Budget Girl. That's my little baby Rosie, and I show my budget every single month in the effort to be more transparent about money on the internet. I think a lot of people kind of don't know what other people do with their money, and it makes it harder for us all to figure out how to do better with our own finances and kind of how to save money places, how to, spend based on our values. So here's my budget and my entire net worth all in one place for you to see, judge, etc. Feel free. So let's get into it. First off, my main day job, Texas A&M, I made $5,243, which is my normal after-tax take-home pay. I'm an assistant director of marketing and communications, and it's a lovely job. I'm very lucky to have it. Next, for Budget Girl, which is this channel here, the associated website, social medias, etc., I brought in $484, which is great. And then for my main other stream of income, which is my rental properties, and do not let anyone tell you that real estate is passive. It is not. I own the duplex that I'm currently in right now. I live in one side and I rent out the other. And in 2020, I bought another duplex that I also house hacked, and I currently rent out both sides of that. So I did bring in $9,464 from that, but the majority of that was actually from a check from the insurance company for a roof adjustment, because I just paid over $11,000 to get a new roof on that property. So my total take home this month is $15,193. So let's get into my expenses and what I spent. For giving, I filled up a local little free pantry, and then I also sent my uncle a gift for his birthday. So that totaled out to $115. My phone is Mint Mobile. It's $43. Gets charged every 3 months. So that's the division by 3. For gas and car, I actually spent $826. And that is because my radiator fan crapped out, and then my battery did too. I knew something was going wrong with this car, and I had brought it into the shop multiple times, and they kept turning me away and saying, like, we can't replicate the sound or the issue. And then I am sitting outside HEB while Jacob is inside grabbing some groceries, and the car overheats. I have to get it towed. And that was like 3 days of bananas. I also spent $43 and $22 on gas at different times. I also got a $35 parking ticket because I was parked closer than I should have been on campus. However, I did just last Friday finally get off the wait list for the closer lot. It is more expensive. Like, I was spending $600 to park, and now it's $1,000. But it is so much closer. It's gonna be so incredible on like hot or rainy or freezing days. I am so close to my building now. Jacob thinks it's because I'm like in administration now, because this is like right outside the old college that I worked in. And I don't know, there is definitely something hinky going on with the parking list because I've been there for 9 years. I should have gotten into the lot that I've been trying to get into at some point during the last like 8.5 years, but we're there. I'm paying a little more, but it's okay. It was like $600 for the garage that was like 3/4 of a mile away. I'm very excited about this. You'll see my take home go down a little bit probably in future months, but actually we did just get a cost of living raise. It was like 1.9% or something. I'll take it. Back in my journalism days, that didn't exist, so I'll never not be grateful for it. Next, electrical was $306. That pays for this side and my tenant side, and it's all on 1 meter, so I just pay it all, and it's inclusive in her rent. For groceries, I spent $318 out of my budgeted $400. Hey! And then for personal, I spent $366 out of my budgeted $300. I made a deposit for some doggy art. I got into lino cutting recently. I did a class, and it was really, really cool. And I found this artist on TikTok who does the most gorgeous dog lino cuts. And I actually commissioned 3 lino cuts of the dogs who are currently chewing their own butts. And they look so amazing. I'm so incredibly impressed by how they turned out. I haven't received them yet, but she's been tagging me in videos and sending me pictures. I'll put them on screen. She fully captured these little beasts, like down to Stella's crazy eyes. And I am so incredibly excited. That's just the deposit. I will be paying her the rest of the money. I will put her contact down below because homegirl is talent. So cool. Lino cutting is not that easy, and to like actually art is not easy, and to get to capture them so perfectly. Like she didn't even use like one reference photo. She like amalgamated a lot of reference photos that I sent her, and she was just such a pleasure. Oh, I love her so much. Her name's Anna Kimmel, and I can't wait to hang doggy lino cut art. And you get the lino cut too. Like you get the stamp so you can make it again. Anyway, I'll put her down below. So cool. Such a cool, like I ordered it now because I didn't expect it until like Christmas, but she's already done with it. So it's awesome. Okay. I spent $55 on some Polaroids for Jacob, I, the dogs, and a bunch of our friends that we invited to the latest little free library launch that we did at a local photography studio. If you guys don't know, I do little free libraries. I'll put a video up here. And my fifth one that's currently still in operation was installed last month at a local photo studio owned by my friend Valeria. I made it into looking like a giant camera lens. And so we held a big little free library launch, and it was so much fun. We invited so many of our friends, and I paid for all of their actual Polaroids. Now we've been going to Valeria for years and years and years, and she sets up these like public booths at like First Friday and other places. And what I like about it is it's not that expensive. It's like $10, and you get a Polaroid, like a physical souvenir that you can put on your fridge in a frame, whatever. And she also takes digital prints. So it's such a deal. And we so rarely print out actual photos anymore. So I'm looking at like 20 on my fridge right now. We've got them all over our offices. They're great. And they've like basically documented our entire relationship between Jacob and I. We've got pictures of Stella as a puppy and Rosie as a puppy, and it's just great. So that turned out great. No regrets whatsoever. Let's see. Oh, I also got a thing of, I went to her setup at the Cove. Jacob and I both volunteer with Aggie Pets with a Purpose, which is a therapy dog organization. And we're working on the admin side on some like member recognition things. So I ordered some samples, and I'm just paying for that out of pocket. We're trying to figure out how to thank these members who have done like 100 visits, 250 visits with these dogs, which is so many hours and so much brightness added to people's days. So anyway, I'm helping with that. We also went to Casa Monarca, which is like a downtown restaurant in Bryan for First Friday, invited a bunch of friends, and I treated, which was nice to be able to do. And I got a mani-pedi. So total of $309 for miscellaneous, but that both of those kind of go in general. And then I bought some new underwear for $50, J. Crew skirt from eBay, and 2 pairs of jeans that I'm doing a craft with for Poshmark. So my total take home of my regular bills for the month, $39 in gas, $13 for my Kindle Unlimited subscription, $2 for Apple storage, etc., $50 for internet. My total expenses were $2,723. And so I'm about $800 over, but primarily that's the radiator fan. Next, so that's 50% of my budgeted income. And then I spend about 20% on savings and investing. So I send $500 to a future savings REI fund, $250 to Jake and I's wedding fund, and then another 30% to investments. So $583 goes to my Roth IRA so I can max that out each year. And then now, only recently this year, I've started my brokerage area, and I'm sending $500 a month to my brokerage account. So totaling all that out, that comes to $4,556.29. Once again, we're just over by about $800, primarily that car repair. But you know what? A paid off car that you occasionally have to do maintenance on, so much better than a car payment. And I've never regretted not having a car payment. So, and the car's good now, so we're good. So, and of course, this is actually less than I bring in from my day job up here total, so I'm still in a good spot. But we do a zero-based budget here, so you'll see what happens with all that money later. Next, on YouTube, I brought in $299.76 from here, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're enjoying yourself. And I brought in $108 from Facebook, and I really don't know what Facebook and Instagram pay me for. I upload content, and they never tell me. Like, I get no data or analytics on what people are watching or how I'm getting paid for that. They just send me little checks via PayPal, and I'm not going to tell them to stop. I also made $25.59 and $51.38 off of Etsy consecutively, which is great. That's where I sell my budgets and other digital download budgeting tools, trackers, etc. I will leave that below. These are endlessly repeatable. That's where you can buy my budget net worth tracker. And it's not a subscription you have to buy every month. You buy it once and you duplicate it and customize it to you forever. I think it's pretty good. And I've never raised the price on it. So I brought in $485. And then my expenses for YouTube and for Budget Girl, unfortunately, are a little high. I pay $295 for my video editors. Hi, video editors. They're worth every penny. And then I've got some various subscriptions, web hosting, etc. that I need to do this business. So my expenses for Budget Girl are womp womp $487.59, which means I made negative $3 on this channel. And you know what? That's okay. Would I love to make more money off of Budget Girl? Yes, but I don't need it to live or to do this. So, and the way to do that would generally be to do like sponsorships and affiliate deals. And I just don't want to push those on you guys too much. So I'm real picky when I do those. And when I do, you'll know that it is because I firmly believe in the product. And I think it'll help save you guys money. So I'm fine with taking basically a net zero on this on most or some or most of the months. Next, let's go on to my real estate investments. Not passive at all, especially lately. My A tenant has again not paid any rent. It has been 3 months, and because of that, I had to file an eviction. I've given every notice, every payment plan. They aren't paying. It is the last month of their lease. And I also figure I'm going to need police assistance in getting them out because at this point they're just squatting. So on Thursday, I'm going to the courts and we're working on that. I don't want to take a home from anybody, but at the same time, I just don't know. I feel very, very at peace with this. I have worked with them every single month this year. They paid as agreed 1 month. I have refunded late fees. I haven't charged late fees. And my late fees are $50 a month if you pay after the 5th. And I'll forgive several for you if you just kind of tell me what's going on. I put in payment plans. I've this, that, the other. They signed a lease. They agreed to pay to live somewhere and they decided to quit paying. It's been a third of the year. So hopefully I am kind of learning as I go here on this whole eviction thing. I've never had to evict someone before. I hoped I would never have to, but that's also just kind of part of the game of being a real estate investor. Eventually it's going to happen. I've always self-managed my properties and I have become very close with my tenants. I'll work with them. I'm not some big corporation that's going to try to charge them fees or anything like that. When the tenants in the kids put Orbeez down the sink and caused $500 worth of plumbing damage. I didn't even charge them for that. Kids make mistakes sometimes, but now they gotta go. I gotta find a new tenant and it's gonna be okay. I fortunately knew getting into the whole real estate investment thing that this was a possibility that could happen at some point, and I financially prepared for it. That's why I have my duplex emergency fund. So it's going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. I'm hoping they're going to be fine. Nothing else. I've gotten 3 months of free rent because I'm never going to see that money again. And I had to pay $150 to, I guess it's on next month's thing, to file the eviction with the courts. All right. I will update you guys on that once it's all resolved and I have more information. But, we learn new stuff every day and I'm not taking it personally. All right. Next, the mortgage for this unit is $1,650, and mowing, I pay for that for the property so they don't have to worry about it. So I paid $101 for mowing this month. And then my B tenant paid as agreed. And then I got the roofing adjustment. I paid $11,000. I got cut a check from the insurance company for $9,000 after a hailstorm. And I had to make up the $6,000 extra that it was going to cost, gave it to the roofer. Took a few months, but he was able to kind of get some extra money for me back from the roofing company after my deductible. So I ended up paying around $2,000 for the roof, which isn't bad at all. So expenses were a little higher for my first duplex. That's where we are for that. It looks like I made money off of it. I didn't. That money's just going to go back into the duplex emergency fund that I saved it from or pulled it from a couple of months ago for the rent, for the roof. And then everybody paid it as agreed. In this unit, B unit paid $1,350 all inclusive for lawn, electricity, everything like that. And Jacob paid $700. And then my mortgage for this place is just about $2,100. So it does look like I came out of the month ahead by $5,600, but that's really just paying me back the $6,000. I'm still a little bit negative, but once again, it's okay. We have that buffer room. Next, let's go down to what I did with the money that was left over from the month. So total income was $15,200. Main expenses were $45.50. Budget Girl expenses were almost $500. Property expenses were just under $4,000 as normal. And then I decided to put actually the $5,000 that I kind of got back from the roof expense. I decided to move that into the brokerage account. I have a pretty robust savings and the market's doing really well right now. And I'm trying to start moving a little bit of the very thick savings accounts that I have because of fear-based money history into this brokerage account where I don't want to tap it. I'm not going to tap it in the near future, but I won't be penalized at all if I do So that money is accessible, but it also has the opportunity to grow more than in just a high yield savings account. So I put the $5,000 in there, and I put $1,300 back into my duplex emergency fund savings, which tops me off to $10K again, which is what I like having in there. So my total ending amount was just under $3, which we just let float. So not horrible overall. Let's see how this affected my net worth overall, which helps me kind of see the forest through the trees. If I was just doing my budget and not also my net worth, I would probably be thinking a lot about the tenant that didn't pay and the radiator expense. Whereas when I kind of scroll back a little bit, I can see the forest for the trees in my actual overall financial picture. If you haven't done like a net worth spreadsheet, even if you only do it like once a year, do it. It's like figuring out what your money picture looks like and how it's moving over time is so helpful. And it shows that you're actually meeting or not meeting your money goals, and you might have to adjust some things so that you are. So in my regular checking account, I had just under $11,000, duplex checking $8,700, and in my local checking account, which I opened just so I could take cash from the tenant that hasn't been paying, $100. I think I'm gonna move banks. I don't like having a local. Like, they don't charge me anything, I just don't like it. So total cash is just over $19,000. Sarah from Slightly in the Future here, and I have found a really exciting solution to this. So there's this new app called Crew Finance that I've started transferring a lot of my money into, and that is because it offers a high yield checking account, which I've never heard of before. You might already know about high yield savings accounts, which I've recommended for years, because why should you either pay a bank or just let a bank use your money for free and then give you like 0.1% interest? A high yield checking account lets you earn money on the money in your everyday account where bills are coming in and out. And I keep several $1,000s in both of my checking accounts because I don't want to have everything in savings just in case things come in, things go out, etc. So why should I not be earning money on the money in all of my accounts? And Crew is here to help you with that. They offer a 3.7 APY on all of their accounts, which is incredible and highly competitive. I just checked my rates at both Ally and Capital One, and Ally is at 3.4. And for whatever reason, Capital One is only giving me 1% APY on my savings, immediately pushing all of those sinking funds that I had in there to Crew, which also has a bunch of pockets, kind of sub accounts within your checking account that you can label. You can have things come in, go out of, and all of those earn that great high yield rate. Crew also has some budgeting functionality. So if you're less of a log everything in your spreadsheet type person and more of a buckets of money type person, you can use these sub accounts or pockets as they call in. You can have bills go in and out of there. You can have money directly deposited into there. You can have bills come out of those. It's really a way that you can kind of bucket budget or category budget within your banking app, which is really cool. You can also switch what account your purchases on your debit card are coming out from with just like one button push on your app, which is so cool. So if you're out and about and you want to use your debit card, but you want to spend something from like your fun money category, you can go in your app and click that button. And then when you swipe your debit card, it comes out of that pocket, which is really neat. They've got a ton of other functionality, but here are the big things. FDIC insured, yes, very important. Second, it's completely free. No account minimums, no account fees, no maintenance fees, nothing. If you ever used Cube Money, which was kind of an app similar to this, they had like a premium subscription level where you could do different things. Nope, all the functionality in this app is completely free, and I think it's fantastic. I keep pawing through looking for fees, they don't exist. And third, it's that 3.7% APY, which is better than any of my other accounts right now. And if you use the code BudgetGirl or follow the link below, you get an extra 0.5% APY for the first 3 months. I have fully vetted this company. Like, I have met the owners. You guys know that I check these things out before I buy in, but I am transferring like most of my money to Crew. I'm really excited about making money off of my money in my checking account. I feel like this should have already been done before. It's a really easy decision, and I highly encourage you to check them out. My emergency fund and my real estate investing account, so this is just kind of my emergency fund, and future property fund is at $43,739. I'm going to eventually use some of that to purchase my next property whenever I get around to it. And then my duplex emergency fund before I moved that final amount over was at $87.50. So that's since been topped off to $10K. So my savings total is $52,000, which is great. And then I also have some sinking funds. I have $993 in my fund, which is just kind of mad money that I can use if I ever find something I really want or want to take a vacation or something like that. $664 in my car insurance sinking fund account, and $5,562 in my wedding fund account, which Jacob also contributes to. That's a joint account. So $7,000 in my sinking funds, $59,000 total savings, and just under $80K in cash and savings. You can see why I'm starting to try and move a little bit of the brokerage, just so it helps me better keep up with inflation and also capitalizes on some of the funds that I have sitting there. I tend to be very safe with my money, and I'm working on it. We're all working on it, right? So next, let's move on to my retirement accounts. I have $37,200 in my teacher's retirement account, which is my work retirement account, essentially. I have $60,000 in my Roth IRA, and then $12,000 in my traditional IRA, which is from an old job, and I need to move it over into Roth, and I just haven't. Maybe that's a end of the year, next year goal. It won't even take that long. I just have to pay the taxes on it. And then I have my brokerage account, which is, I've only been investing in for 5 months, and it's already up to $10,000. I've actually made like $2,000 in the market since I opened this account in April, which is incredible. Now, we dollar cost average in this house, which means we invest consistently and not based on any crazy market swings. Women are better investors because we tend to be lazier investors and aren't trying to like chase the next thing, like the GameStop stock or something. This is just me continually putting what I have extra into this account and regularly investing that $500 that I started doing in April. I had a $5,000 windfall, and I decided, heck, it's time, right? So that's gained quite a bit of money. I have only put in about $8,000, and now I have about 10. So total investments is $120,000, and total liquid assets is just under $200,000, which is pretty freaking neat. Not that I would tap the retirement, but still very cool. Let's move on to property assets. Duplex 1 is worth about $350. This duplex is worth about $272. My car is worth about $5,000, maybe a little less, but it's fine. That's a nice round number. So $627,000 in property assets, and total all assets is $826,500. If I didn't have debt, I'd be close to a millionaire. So let's talk about my debts. Mortgage 1 has $203,856 left on it, and mortgage 2 has $232,019. I actually have quite a bit of equity in Duplex 1, considering I only bought it 5 years ago because I bought it in January of 2020. The property value's gone up a lot, and I've been able to pay a little down over time, and I haven't paid any extra to that loan at all. It's just finally over that first few years interest only hump. So my total debts are $435,875. My debts have gone down by $400 this month and about $4,500 this year. And my total net worth, which is all of my assets versus all of my debts, is at $390,977. Y'all, I think we might hit 400K this year, which would be incredibly cool. My monthly net worth change is up about 10K, primarily just that refund. So that is where I am for the month of August. So far, my September is going okay. I went to FinCon last week in Portland, Oregon, got very inspired by a bunch of other money nerds who are always incredibly willing to chat with you about things and offer their advice and learned wisdom, which is what I hope to be for you guys. And especially willing to be like, hey, here, learn from my mistakes, especially when I told some of them I was going through an eviction. So they were kind of like, it happens, and it does. All right, thank you guys so very much for watching. If you didn't notice, I am less than 500 subscribers away from 100,000. That YouTube play button, I want it. It's gonna go right there. Look how shiny it is. Oh, it's gonna be so pretty. I want it real bad. I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I would love for you to help me get it. If you haven't already subscribed, or if you have a friend who you think might be interested in my content and want to subscribe, it would be my honor to be your new money friend. All right, I will see you guys in the next one. I have some really fun videos upcoming, so don't forget to hang around and check back. I'll see you. Bye.